Hello, everybody. I've got something really important to share today, and it's about the Magna Carta and how this came about. And in fact, the Magna Carta was written in 1215. And at the time, we had a real tyrant of a king ruling England called King John, believe it or not. I'm ashamed to say that he shares the same name with me. But he was a real tyrant. He threatened his opponents with death. He used up the country's taxes to fund foreign wars. Where have we heard that? That's happening a lot today. And yeah, eventually the barons in England got fed up with him and gave him an ultimatum that he would have to settle with them and make some sort of contract, some charter. And at the time, the Archbishop, Stephen Langton, very interesting man, he came to power against King John's wishes. And he was actually a biblical scholar, and he was teaching the Bible in France. Fascinating individual. And he was in contact with these barons, and he was sympathetic to them, considering all the suffering that they'd experienced, all the financial tyranny under this King John. Now, this is in 1215. This is a long time ago in English history, but it's a very important part of English history. And that's why I feel like I really need to share this with you, because a lot of the freedoms that we're seeing getting wiped out right now due to the lockdowns and everything else, I've got to be careful what I say so this video is not taken down. A lot of them started with the Magna Carta. And in fact, Thomas Jefferson, who is one of the main writers of the US Constitution that created all the freedoms that you have in the United States, he was inspired by Magna Carta, and so was Mahatma Gandhi. So this is quite a significant document in history and something that I think people really need to know about. And yeah, basically this Stephen Langton was using the Bible to reference what made good kings and bad kings. How to differentiate from a king that was working for the common good and kings that were being tyrannical. And he got together with these barons, and in fact, it was this Archbishop Stephen Langton who put together most of the Magna Carta. So he was elected by the Pope at the time, but he was really into the Bible. And you see throughout history how significant the Bible is in terms of our freedoms, in terms of, the Bible was initially an illegal book. If you owned a Bible, you could be put to death. In fact, the first two or three men who translated the Bible into English, you've got people such as John Wycliffe, William Tyndale, they were put to death. They were burnt at the stake for putting the Bible into English. But before their time was this Stephen Langton, fascinating man. And I just want to add, anyway, so what did the Magna Carta do? It gave us trial by jury, that people actually had to have a jury in court before they could be tried for a crime. Before that, it didn't exist. We didn't have any notion of justice. People could just be imprisoned by the king randomly. There was no fair assessment of, okay, is this person guilty or not? But due to this archbishop and his study of the Bible and all of this being implemented, this good kingship, these policies that reflected good kingship inspired by the Bible, we now have this modern day justice system all over the world, started in the Western world, but it's spread worldwide. So I think this is really important. And I just want to read a couple of verses from the Bible. You have the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 8. Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. And we've also got Psalm 82, verse 3. Give justice to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, plead the widow's cause. So I just wanted to share that today. For those of you who didn't know about this really important history, but to understand what's going on in our time right now, we need to understand what came before. We need to connect the jigsaw pieces, and we really need to reflect on that if we're going to find the solution to today's problems. And we're living in an increasingly de-Christianized society where children are not growing up with the Bible. They're not growing up to learn that actually they have these God-given rights. And, you know, the Bible gives us a moral foundation. It gives us clarity. So I just wanted to share this today. Please share this video with friends. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the video Robert Woodbury, The World the Missionaries Made on YouTube. If you haven't checked that out, please have a look. It's one of the most important videos online that charts the history of the Christian missionaries and the creation of freedoms all throughout the world that tightly correlated with the widespread availability of the Bible and the preaching by Christian missionaries and the actions that they got involved in, such as the abolition of the slave trade, the providing of homes for street children, for people that were homeless, the provision of the printing press, you know, so we could get access to the written word, to information, all of these things. And in fact, you also had missionaries that were teaching slaveries how to read and write. And that actually led to uprisings from the slaves. It cost the British huge amounts of money by abolishing the slave trade. But it was heroes like John Newton, Henry Thornton, and William Wilberforce. And you can see the film Amazing Grace. They talk about how the slave trade was brought down. They took on not only the English Parliament, but also the monarchy in the UK. So I just find that fascinating. Anyway, have a great day and God bless.